Ew,
Oh,
ew, ew, man.
it doesn't.
I'm getting a seizure.
There we go. Doesn't have the same good effect with the studio lighting that we have.
True.
But
Yeah.
happy Thanksgiving to all. Hopefully you are safe and well out there. Enjoy the day off of work. Yes, it's unfortunate that we have to watch the Lions and the Texans, but better than
But
being
we
at work. Maybe,
but we
kind
get
of.
we get to watch the other game.
Yeah. God, God, cut me out of that thing. Fogging up my glasses.
Yep, that'll happen.
Hold on, just before we really get going here. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Something didn't feel right. I couldn't figure it out.
That's better. That's better.
No.
It's going to give me a seizure. Turn that off. Woo! Welcome in, everyone. This is sort of like a mini Friday for a lot of people out there. So hopefully you're safe. Not a lot of traveling going on. I know I'm going to be here in San Diego for the holiday. Just kind of dinner at the house with the roommates and my wife, producer T.
Nice.
But probably for the best, given everything going on. So I hope you guys
Sure.
are safe. Enjoy, with the friends and family that are close by. Let's not have another giant Halloween level spike, please, because
Please.
it's getting crazy. But alas, thank you for joining us. And also, I see you in the comments, Callan. Shout out to
On
Callan.
here early. Nice.
Callan, early and often. Hit us up in the comments or hit us at the link. Call in right down there next to the football turkey and classic generic leaf. That always indicates Thanksgiving, clearly.
Of course, of course.
Tyler, how are you doing on this Wednesday evening?
I'm doing good, man. Definitely looking forward to Thanksgiving tomorrow. Sitting here, already getting into the holiday spirit with my Dewars and ginger ale in my LA Dodgers championship glass that just came in recently. So
Let's shift this over.
all in all, having a good time. Ronnie, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Pretty slow week. I think the combination of the holiday, the purple tier now that San Diego's in, definitely less traffic in the bank, so pretty calm.
Okay.
The people that were traveling, which wasn't that many people, we're just trying to get in and out of there, so not too bad. And yes, as Callan also points out, come back home to, well, really, it's been going on all day, but a feast of college basketball. So nice to have that, especially now, as we discussed, there is no midweek action.
True.
But with college basketball on, it's probably going to be some random game on almost every night.
All the time.
So you can fire up some crazy, crazy parlays, especially early in college basketball if you really want to get weird.
That's right. Get in on your Northeast Athletic Conference games.
Once you get into, like the ESPN3 level, they got like D2 games on there too. So you could get way deep into it. Also, I want to give a shout out to just some news and notes here off the top to, let's see, the aforementioned Callan. And speaking of college basketball, Friday, I believe, is going to be Callan's last show as he is going back to work. So once again, huge congratulations. Making it out, Callan. Which I knew you would be back. It's just a matter of like when you could come back, but that's awesome. So very happy for you.
Yeah, tune into that Friday, 11:45. Definitely check that out. Let's give Callan a big going away show.
Send him off in style. But always welcome here on Quarantine Kings and, of course, TQN. Thank you, as always, for helping numerous ways. And like I said, I still have the shirt.
Former member of this show, Callan McClurg.
Could be taking over that spot, but
right.
The money's right. If the money's right.
It's the finger thing. It means money.
That means the money. It's your children's future. Also, to that note, another friend of the program coming up on Bigger and Better Things. Shout out to Will.
Yeah.
The homie Will Galvez.
Galvez.
Will Galvez from the bench. Picking up a nice little writing gig there with BSM. There's Will there. Oh, and shout out to Dale as well. That's when we had them on as guests of the program. Also, shout out to Dale. Browns, somehow, some way, tearing it up right now. and I did see that he is back for Thanksgiving in Cleveland. So hopefully having a good time out there, friends and family. But big shout out to Will, frequent commenter and guest of the program. Excited to see what comes out of that. Shout out to Jaime as well for checking in. And let's see. Tyler pointed this out to me. I was not following it, but we got to talk about the situation in Japanese and Korean baseball. It's like they just wrapped up. So, Tyler, I will let you set this little deal up here.
Yeah, I mean, since there's not really, any American baseball news going on, just wanted to give an update here. Both the Nippon Professional Baseball and the Korean Baseball Organization both wrapped up their playoffs. Got to give a shout out. We'll start in Japan. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks win their 4th championship in a row. They absolutely destroyed the Yomiuri Giants, who anybody that's not familiar, the Yomiuri Giants are kind of like the New York Yankees, so nobody's really sad they lost. But Fukuoka outscored them 26-4 through the 4 games, never trailed at any point in time in the series. I think they set a record for most strikeouts against an opponent in the series, fewest hits allowed in the series. I mean, just absolute dominance. But Fukuoka, they've got a dynasty going. They've won 4 in a row. They won their 7th championship since 2011. So, they kind of got a thing going to where, people are loving them beating the Hawks now, but maybe in another year or two, it's going to be like, all right, let's get somebody new in here.
Honestly, 4 in a row in almost any professional league where the players are paid, that's pretty ridiculous.
And especially in a league like that where it's such a small league. It's not like you can spread the talent around everywhere. There's 10 teams, I think. And so, yeah, shout out to them, though, for winning that. Kind of the bigger one that we wanted to touch on here, and you'll see why in just a moment. But in the KBO, in the Korean series, the NC Dinos beat the Doosan Bears 4-2 to win the series. And, we've given Rob Manfred a lot of shit for just calling everybody's doing shit for calling the World Series trophy just a hunk of metal.
Piece of metal.
Well, when you look and see what the NC Dinos were given, maybe we kind of lean towards Manfred's side in this one because they won the championship. Well, they were presented with.
This is way more than a piece of metal. This is a badass cut your whole family in half sword. Look at this thing.
That is just unbelievable. Honestly, Ron and I were talking about this beforehand. If I knew that was going to be given to me for winning the series, I would play so much harder because I want to hold that sword.
Leave it all on the field. Also, you don't, like I said, want to be on the other side of that sword because
this is true.
This thing it's like Highlander. There can be only one.
Oh, yeah.
You have the sword. Watch out, everyone else, because they are capable of anything. Look at that thing. It's as tall as that guy holding it.
And it's a real sword. It's not some shitty unsharpened real dull thing. No, that's a real legitimate sword that they were given for winning the KBO league.
Anyone that wanted to kiss it, I get it, but be careful, please.
Be very careful. So yes, shout out to those teams for wrapping up and winning their Japanese Nippon Professional Baseball and KBO League championships.
I hesitate to put this in the side news category, but just as far as topics, just sort of random sports news. R.I.P. to the great Maradona.
Yes.
Just a fascinating guy for one. I mean, 60 years old. We were talking about it, Tyler and I, but that's 60 years in human years. In Maradona years, I believe he was 1,200 years old because
for that dude lived life.
He lived it hard and maybe harder or as hard as anyone ever.
Cool, man.
I highly recommend. HBO put out a really good documentary about Maradona. I believe, I want to say it's about 6-7 months ago. Definitely check that out if you can. I don't know. I do want to say polarizing, but I guess that's fair to say. Definitely, got to say probably top 3 all-time players. At
I
least
would have
top
to say
5.
so. Yeah.
When this guy came out, he was doing things just people have never seen, and some of it people still have never seen since then.
If you've watched Lionel Messi play, he does what Messi was doing 20, 30 years beforehand. He was just there was nothing like him. I mean, obviously he's most famous for the hand of God and the 1986 World Cup quarterfinals against England. But what people tend to forget is, yes, there was that controversial play, but then 5 minutes later, he scored what they called the goal of the century, where he just took the ball himself, 60 yards, weaving in and out through Britain defenders, putting the goal in. I mean, just absolutely incredible. Like Ronnie said, some of the stuff that he did, like you still don't see players doing these days.
And there you go, Jaime. 100%. Maradona, just one of the best to ever do it. I think actually one of the coolest clips I saw today, and this sort of leads into that, is let's see, in that 86 World Cup, this was a graphic ESPN put up today, just probably one of the best all-time World Cup performances, as you can see there, first in almost every category. Gary Lineker had 6 goals, so it got second there. But actually on the Champions League coverage on Sky or, BT Sport, one of the British ones, Lineker kind of just, it wasn't like a eulogy, but just sort of talked about his experiences with Maradona, the times they met or played against each other. And he pretty much said the same thing. Just anyone, I mean, yeah, Gary Lineker is a world-class all-time guy too, but just anyone around him was like, what is this? Like, I've never seen anything like this. Like, he was talking about, I think he did like a 2 or 3 minute sort of story about the time he saw him warm up in a game. And Maradona's warm-ups were pretty famous because there was a lot of juggling and skills and stuff like that. And guys were just blown away just watching him. Like, it can't even be real. Like, juggling the ball like 30 feet up in the air 15 times in a row. And he's like, he probably took like 2 steps, like out of it, just straight up in the air, caught it, booted it back up off his knee, off his shoulder, off his head, whatever. And I think he said too, he's like, well, we got back next day at training. We all tried to do it because we never seen it before. And I think the best was like someone got to 3, and also they had to like sprint for the 3rd one because it was like, wait, like this guy was just on a completely different planet. Rest in peace, of course. And just a crazy life. Like, I would say 100% check out the documentary that HBO put out. You could see there in Napoli and, of course, Argentina. I think Argentina already put something out. It's going to be like 3 days of mourning for Maradona. Just a national hero. But definitely someone we're not going to see again, just for better or worse. I mean, everything that came with Maradona. But as far as the game, one of the best to ever play. I mean, it's just a guy that just loved, like, I've never really, Messi's there, couple other players, but it just seemed like he needed to have a soccer ball, like, at his feet. Like, he was just so connected with it. Like, you watch some of these clips from the 80s, even into the 90s when he was, at the KLN. This guy, it's just magical. Like, the way that he was so connected. It was just like, oh, this is like, I think he had a quote one time too. He's like, if I showed up to a wedding in an all-white suit and the muddiest, dirtiest soccer ball just like came flying out of the air, I would just take it off the chest. Like, I wouldn't even think about it. Like, this guy just needed to have a ball, and it was like on a string. Like, it was just magic.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of you rarely get a consensus from fans of any sport about, if you made a Mount Rushmore, who would be on it. I think pretty much every soccer fan will tell you Maradona's on that. Like, usually you'll hear Pele, Maradona, and then the other 2 spots are kind of like up for grabs. But those 2 are definitely kind of like the ones that's like, yeah, if you're talking about the GOATs, this guy has to be on there. I mean, if you go around Napoli today, he played in Napoli, what was that, like late 80s, I think is when he played there, or maybe early 80s. But
like, the middle.
Like, they say, like, if you go, like, you can't go 2 blocks without seeing a mural of him, like, on the side of a building there. Like, he's still in Napoli, like, so revered. Obviously still completely revered in his home country of Argentina as well. So, on the field, unquestionably one of the GOATs. Off the field, definitely had some issues. Did a lot of living in those 60 years. That's kind of putting it nicely. lots of issues with substance abuse, and then kind of once he got that cleaned up, then he became dependent on alcohol. I think that was just maybe a month ago when he went to the hospital for that subdural hematoma, which, when that happens, they say even if you survive it, you're never the same. Of course, then, today he has a heart attack. Absolutely tragic, big loss for the sport of soccer.
Honestly, I was actually speaking with my boss at the bank today, just when we had like a couple moments. I was like, yeah, I guess, did you see the thing about Maradona? It kind of finally happened. And we were both like, yeah, it sucks. I mean, it's like one of the best to ever do it. And you think about everyone in the world that plays soccer, like by far the most played team sport on earth. But clear cut, like Tyler said, this guy's on the Mount Rushmore. But we were both kind of like, 60s kind of surprising, but kind of not. Like,
right.
It could go either way with this guy, but he lived it all the way. And like I said, just one of the all-time icons. And I think, too, even if, the stories are out there, it's not hard to find as far as his off-the-field troubles and things like that. But, man, just if you watch this guy play, sometimes it just takes your breath away. Even looking at, old clips, things that you already know, you've seen the clip. And even again, you're just like, how did that happen? Like, how is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely not. Big loss again for the world of soccer. Like I said earlier, he was Messi before Messi. Like I saw some clips today about like plays between him and Messi where it's like side by side. They're kind of almost identical, and it's scary because of the the time difference between the two. But big definitely thoughts go out to Maradona's friends and family, and to the whole soccer world as a whole.
And all of Argentina, like I said, this guy's a super national hero. Let's get into, as far as the side notes here, some happier news, especially for Tyler. Young Chef Saban.
Yes, sir.
Back to the team that drafted him. He's going back to the Kings, baby.
Yeah, sign him to a 1-year veteran minimum deal, which I have no problem with. I mean, the Kings, they needed, because Harry Giles went to the Blazers a couple days ago, so they needed a second center so that way, Rashawn Holmes isn't playing, 48 minutes a game and dying midway through the season.
Right.
There's obviously a lot of issues people had with Whiteside, with his on-court, kind of like, does he really care? Does he want to be here? Does he want to give the effort? You know what? I'm fine with the 1-year veteran minimum. Like, if it doesn't work out, whatever, it's 1 year. The Kings, the West is loaded. The Kings probably aren't making the playoffs this year anyways. And if he does work out, hey, great. Either sign him to another deal or trade him at the deadline, get some draft picks out of it. I'm fine with it. Plus, obviously, you get to follow his antics online as well, as we became massive fans of during the bubble.
Big Whiteside fan. Unfortunately, he was never able to find Mickey.
Couldn't.
Hey, people keep asking me, they like, yo, Whiteside, how you seen Mick?
Ain't seen him. But also his beautiful, beautiful singing voice now comes back to Sacramento.
I wish I had Jesse's girl. Where can I find a woman like that? Jesse's girl.
And hey, I like it, honestly, for your Kings. Look, Whiteside, he is what he is. You're not going to count on him for points, but he does protect the rim. He will get you rebounds.
Yep.
Got to stay out of foul trouble. That's kind of always the thing with Whiteside. But I like him as a player. Like I said, you just got to kind of know what you're getting there. But, hey, 1-year deal at the league minimum, I think, why not?
Yeah, no, it's worth a shot. And I mean, that's the thing with the Kings is they're not going to be relying on him to score. I mean, you got De'Aaron Fox for that. Maybe Buddy Hield. That situation's kind of up in the air. The Kings aren't an inside scoring team, so it'll be fine as long as he can play some defense, get some boards. I'm good with it.
Yep, totally agree. One last little side note here. I don't know if you follow us at YFPFP on Twitter. ESPN2 throwing up some disc golf last night. I was loving it. I've been more, as you know, back in the ball golf world recently, now that I found out how to golf for, deals and cheaper things. But nice to see this on ESPN2. Yes, I'm more of a disc golf fan than casual person. But I've seen tournaments, championships, and things like this on like YouTube or whatever other streaming. And the ESPN production definitely made a little bit of a difference. They were in a crazy, like, all forest course in North Carolina. And they actually did a pretty good job of what I think would be the biggest logistical problem with disc golf, because you could put a course anywhere, tracking the shots. So they had cameras on it. It was kind of funny to see the caddies because, hey, when you're that big on tour, I guess you don't walk around with your own. It's just like the PGA. Like, you don't carry your own bag.
Yeah, you don't carry that.
And a lot of them, the caddies seem like, family or, someone close to. But, hey.
Or the weed guy.
Or the weed guy. Whoever. I don't know what's in the backpack. But, I don't know what kind of testing they have on tour, because that would be a huge scandal. But
right.
I thought it was not bad of a production, and also the prize money was a little higher than I thought. $20,000 for first place and $10,000 for second, and that was both the men's and women's division. So I'd like to see this continue. Hopefully, ESPN's going to show a couple more of these. But I know that was the Tour Championships. I don't know if that was just like a once a year thing, but they did a nice job with it. I enjoyed it, and again, no action. So I'll take what I can get at this point.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, when you told me about it, because I didn't see it. I saw your tweet. I saw it had gotten like a couple likes or comments, whatever. I was kind of surprised by it. And then when you told me how much they won for it, I was like, okay, that is real. Like, I didn't think there was. Granted, like you said, yes, it is the championship, so of course the prize monies could be higher. But I was not expecting the amount that you said it was for the winners there.
And inspired by that, I am actually disc golfing tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my outing for Thanksgiving. Chains giving, baby. Be banging some chains down at Morley Field. First time I've actually disc golfed in the post-Rona era. So, and it's appointment only. They're limiting, because usually Morley Field's really crowded. But we're going to go out there around noon and see if I got a little snap in the old arm still. I don't know.
See if you still got it, huh?
Yeah.
But that was just remember, ice up afterwards. You might be a little sore.
I probably will have to ice up. Ball golf, as I found, is a lot less physically strenuous as well, even if you're walking. Just the arm rotator cuff area.
It's just it's not really a natural motion. So yeah, just definitely got to take care of your body afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's what all the greats that I saw last night on ESPN2 do. A strict regimen.
Getting that Epsom salt bath.
Epsom salt, a lot of ice. Probably a strict diet.
Yep.
A lot of maybe weed, like Tyler said. I don't know.
But, we don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. Look, I'm not on the tour, so I don't know what they do. But
exactly.
Let's now get into the football.
Okay.
I believe. Well, we do have Thanksgiving NFL tomorrow. One game that unfortunately will not be tomorrow, which we will get into. But let's start with college.
Okay.
A lot of news coming out of college football. Of course, when we get to Saturday, a full slate, except for the games that were canceled, postponed, moved, whatever.
Right.
And then we have a couple games on Friday. But Tyler, if you want to tee us up here for some college football.
Yeah, I guess let's go ahead and start before we get into any of the games. Let's just kind of start with the big news that came out, which is that Nick Saban, head coach of Alabama, has once again tested positive for COVID-19. This one, he was showing some more symptoms of it than he was last time, so they're not declaring a false positive, so he will have to sit out the game, the big Iron Bowl game this weekend against Auburn. A lot kind of like how we felt last time. I'm sure it'll move the line, but I think Alabama will still be fine. They're a pretty well-oiled machine out there. Plus, let's not put it past Alabama to go ahead, contact their boys at Cyberdyne and boot up Cyber Saban to run the game.
It's another chance to pull them out. Cyber Saban, the threat.
That's right.
I did. I'm going to save this one too, because I'm hoping he's fine and does not get the Rona for a third time.
Of course.
The idea of a Cyber Saban is more terrifying than the actual Nick Saban. So now we have a intro for anytime this may come up again. But gotta be. I mean, yes, it's a rivalry game. Auburn is okay, but they're not on that level right now.
Yeah.
Weird things happen though. Punt,
That's
Bama,
true.
punt. I mean,
right.
This is a long-standing rivalry. So
the field goal kick for the return. What was that? Like probably 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, rivalry games. You never know. You got to throw it out the table. But as far as the actual games go that we'll discuss, we do have a couple games tomorrow, both in the Mountain West Conference. We'll have a 11 a.m. Pacific time kickoff between Colorado State and Air Force. And we will also have a 4 p.m. kickoff between winless New Mexico State and winless Utah State.
Someone's got to win.
Somebody's got to. It's called There Are No Ties. Somebody's getting a win. I'll go ahead and say and watch that because we're not getting an NFL game. We'll get into that in a minute. But that'll be a 4 p.m. kickoff time Thursday. Then Friday, we'll just touch on some of the games since they'll already be done by the time we get on the air. Friday morning, got a nice slate of games for Friday. I think there's about 9 or 10 games. We got kicking off at 9 in the morning, number 13 Iowa State at number 17 Texas. Good Big 12 matchup there. At 12:30, we got number 2 Notre Dame at number 19 North Carolina. Notre Dame's been looking pretty good, but don't sleep on North Carolina. If you give them a chance, they will hurt you. At 1 p.m., we got the big game, which is can we not call it that now? Because they really both teams have been good for a while. But it'll be Stanford at Cal kicking off at 1 o'clock. And then just another rivalry game I'm making note of for Friday here. Kicking off at 4:30 is number 15 Oregon at Oregon State. Oregon State, of course, hasn't been good for a long time. Not expecting much out of that game, but it's a rivalry, so hey, you never know.
Jaquiz Rogers is not walking through that door.
That's right. But as far as this week goes, so far we have 6 games that have been either canceled or postponed, including Wisconsin, which now makes them ineligible for the Big Ten Championship. Granted, the loss to Northwestern pretty much knocked them out anyways.
Made them ineligible.
They would have needed Northwestern to lose twice in the next 3 weeks. And if you look at Northwestern's schedule, probably not going to happen. But still, sucks for Wisconsin. But, we've said this shit could happen, and it happened.
And it's going to continue to happen, especially in college football. And now we just wait and see with college basketball. There's even more teams and players and travel involved. So I'm glad it's back, but I would be expecting, this to happen. I mean, we're already bracing for this in the NBA. There's not going to be a bubble this time. There are going to be COVID outbreaks or, players that got to sit out for a certain period of time. So now that we're probably getting past the bubble stage of things for any sport, it's just going to be a fact of life right now, unfortunately.
Yep. But we'll have more on college football on our show Friday. Of course, give maybe a little bit more in-depth preview into the game Saturday. But still, again, 2 games tomorrow. Nice slate of games Friday. Keep us entertained during this weekday.
Yeah, something to enjoy on Thanksgiving tomorrow. And, of course, well, now we are down to 2 NFL games because the Ravens simply apparently cannot field a team at this point, and that has been moved to Sunday, the rare, I guess that would be what?
10:15 a.m.
10:15 at NBC. So good for NBC, but probably even worse for NBC because that would have been the game of the day tomorrow.
Oh, 100%.
Also, I think the Browns shut down their facility again today because they had a player test positive. Steelers just sort of rolling along. You see Juju takes away our bye week because another team can't get their COVID situation, the Titans. Now they take away our Thanksgiving primetime game for the same reason, SMH.
Yeah, look, Juju's not wrong. Like, Pittsburgh's been doing it right. They to my knowledge, they haven't really – I don't know. I mean, obviously they did get some fines.
They had a little bit.
So. But wasn't that more to do with masks on the sideline rather than any positive testing?
Yeah, they had a couple players get on the contact trace list. Ben was on there for a period of time. He was able to come back. He never tested positive, but there was some exposure or
potential for exposure.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I look, you know where I stand on the Steelers. I hate them. They cost me $440.
They did.
But as far as dealing with the regulations and things, they've done as good a job as probably anyone. I mean, I think every team at this point has at least had some kind of dealings with this. And because of the Titans thing, like I said, they lost their bye week. They're still undefeated. Now they lose the third of the Thanksgiving games. They just keep trucking along, but we'll see what happens on Sunday with them. But as far as the actual games that will be played tomorrow,
what a set of matchups here.
There we go. Yeah, the first one I have to say that in finger quotes. I mean, that is, and there's some NFL players will participate in that game.
Right.
It is sanctioned by the league, but that might be just worry about the cooking. Maybe just turn it on and check on it every once in a while to see if something happens. It probably won't, but Detroit always plays on Thanksgiving, and they're always bad.
Yeah, actually. God, I didn't even notice it. Both teams' actual records match up with their record against the spread as well. That's kind of interesting this late here. But yeah, morning game. I mean, unless you've got, Deshaun Watson or I don't know, Marvin Jones, maybe. There's really no reason to be big into this game other than just there's an NFL game going on. I would say just kind of based on the way they've been playing lately, I'd probably go Houston in that one. Obviously coming off a nice win over the Patriots last week. They haven't been looking bad since they got rid of B.O.B. Detroit's just kind of there. I guess if I had to take one, I would probably take Houston in that one.
I would say the same. You could see they're favored, but who knows? It's Detroit on Thanksgiving, which is always there, whether you like it or not. Most of the time you don't.
Yes.
But we have football. And
we do have football.
Now, what becomes the game of the day?
Oh, boy.
The NFC East clash, where every game matters. Washington football team, the artist formerly known as the Redskins, go to Dallas, who coming off a nice win there. And Dallas is favored. But I feel like Vegas should just make them all pick-ems in that division.
100%.
Why are we messing around with this right now? Yes, I'm sure Dallas fans, high off the win, are betting it up. It's Washington. We can beat them. I mean, you should. But that division is so whacked out, they shouldn't even put favorites on these.
Nobody is a favorite in that division, that's for damn sure. I mean, it'll be an interesting matchup. I can't even say who I like in that one because, Washington, they've got a couple nice pieces. Gibson's had a nice season at running back. Terry McLaurin is kind of capable of having good games at any point in time. Dallas, they've got the pieces there, and I'm sure that Andy Dalton will be looking for some revenge because Washington was the team that knocked him out a few weeks ago.
This is what we got. This is the best one we got.
If I was gambling, I actually probably wouldn't even touch this game just because the NFC East is so crazy. In fact, I remember I had tweeted something to you, or not tweeted, but I texted you something the other day about the kind of the implications of this weekend in the NFC East. I'm actually pulling that up now as we speak so I can make sure I get this right.
Let me see if I can find it.
I think I just pulled up. So here's the NFC East situation. So if Washington wins this game tomorrow, they're in first place. But then if the Giants win on Sunday, they're in first place. But then if the Eagles win on Monday, they're in first place. So NFC East is, look, for better or worse, and it's definitely for worse, it's an entertaining division because every game matters more than any other division.
Oh, sorry. I was checking on the dog.
Yeah.
The dog says he wants to get back inside, but
it's all
I'll
good.
be there soon, though. Don't worry.
If you got to handle that, go ahead. It's fine.
No, just real quick. Yes, it's everyone's still, which is blowing my mind. Still, the tweet that Tyler sent me, I was like, "This is insane." And still, mathematically, I mean, if you play it all out, probably 6 wins. You get a home playoff game.
Yeah, 6 wins, and you're hosting probably the second place team in the NFC West, who will probably have like 9 wins. So, yeah, it's a weird situation. Like I said, if I was gambling on this one, and please remember, anything we say in regards to gambling is for entertainment purposes only.
Of course, I'll put a disclaimer up here. I want to make sure I'm covered.
Of course, yeah. Our legal department requests it. If I was gambling, I don't know if I'd even touch that one. I really don't, because it's like the NFC East has been so insane. Every team has been so bad to just crazy levels. Like I wouldn't even bother. I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't even feel comfortable with it. I don't see any joy in that at all. Even going on over under that's just a mess. But unfortunately, whatever. That's going to be the game of the day now because there's no Steelers-Ravens game. Hopefully everyone in question there is safe ultimately. But it does suck because that was definitely going to be the game of the day, the third game. Yeah, well, so now we just get a bonus game Sunday morning, which I know for you and me won't matter because we red zone it on Sundays like I'm sure a good portion of NFL fans do. But, hey, I mean, I got to imagine, man, ABC executives had to, like, fight really hard with the NFL on this because they're like, just imagine how much ratings they would be getting for Thursday because it's everybody's, sitting home recovering from a turkey hangover. It's the only thing on. No other sporting events.
Lions, Cowboys, Washington game hangover. Yes. Like, actual NFL football. Cool.
Granted, the Ravens haven't been that great lately, but now you're taking that from again just a primetime Thursday to a Sunday where the other two major networks are going to have games going as well. So I imagine NBC wasn't too happy with that, but. I guess at this point it is what it is.
Now I wonder, they're still going to have Sunday Night Football, I would assume.
Correct.
So who's going to be the other broadcast team? That's what I don't know for NBC.
That is a good question.
I doubt they would have Collinsworth and Michaels do that, 10 a.m. West Coast, 1 p.m. East Coast game.
It'll be Sal Masekela and Carson Daly.
Yes, straight from the X Games.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, I know Carson Daly was on ABC. I don't even know if he's on ABC.
Sideline reporter Bodie Miller.
That's right.
Let's get weird with it. Let's go.
In the booger, we're gonna have like fucking Dave Meat. No, sorry, he's dead. I forgot he passed away a couple years ago.
Have some sensitivity.
I was gonna say Dave Beard. I forgot. They're gonna have TJ Lavin in the booger mobile. I don't know.
It'll be weird. They'll find someone. They got the Notre Dame guys. Maybe probably I would see that kind of makes sense that you would
that actually could happen.
What's his name? I'm spacing on it right now. The ESPN guy forever that does the Notre Dame games.
It's Lou Holtz. No, not Lou Holtz.
Not Lou Holtz. He used to do Monday Night Football. How come I can't think of it?
I can't remember. But
anyway, probably that guy.
Yeah, that would actually make sense.
And if you can bet on it, again, entertainment purposes only. If you can
Always.
bet on who is going to be the broadcast team for that, that's my initial leaning. My sources are saying, but I don't know. So, be safe out there, bettors.
Yep, there we go. All right. Well, Ronnie, I don't really think I had any other news here. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we jump off the air?
No, not really. Just. Again, hopefully you guys have a good Thanksgiving. Be safe. Like I said, the Halloween spike kind of hit everyone super hard and screwed up a lot of stuff, especially college sports. Shocker.
Right.
So just be responsible, but do, eat as much as you can. Watch whatever version of NFL football we have to watch on
NFL football.
NFL football. These are professional football players.
They are. Yes.
And again, shout out to Will for the new gig and Callan as well. And I'll try to check out the show on Friday if I can catch it. But big up to you guys. Thanks, as always, for being on the show with us and popping in the comments, helping us out with whatever you can. But love you guys, and you guys all have a good Thanksgiving. Tyler, what you got?
Yeah, just again, kind of want to repeat the shout outs. Big shout out to Will for getting the new gig. Big shout out to Callan. Again, a reminder, his last show will be Friday at 11:45. So check that out. Let's give him a good send-off. Definitely big ups for him for getting back into his commentating gigs, although I know the one he had today and the one Saturday got canceled because of the Rona, but he's still going to move forward whenever they can play games again. Also want to give a big shout out. I actually got this text while we were recording here to former guest on the show, one of our good friends, Corey Helms, his wife, delivered their second kid very, very recently. So big shout out to them for their new child. But other than that, yeah, guys, just stick around. Also, you know what? I'll give a big shout out to the network here. If you guys are just kind of looking for anything to do, maybe you're not into sports, I know that the man that runs this whole thing, Bo, will be kind of putting on some stuff throughout the day tomorrow here on the Quarantine Network. So if you're, maybe at home, isolated, looking for stuff to do, stuff to watch, check out the Quarantine Network. Bo's putting some stuff together to maybe keep you entertained, maybe get some little interaction going as well. So check that out tomorrow. Other than that, stick around here in about 15 minutes here. We're going to have the book club for TV with Patrice. Other than that, guys, have a happy, safe Thanksgiving. Eat turkey. Have a good time. Enjoy whatever company you have. We love you guys. You know the drill. Keep the fire.
Keep the fire.